Hello, beautiful soul. Welcome to the Elevate Your Soul podcast. Since the whole world seems to be talking about and thinking about the same thing right now, I thought I would make a solo podcast episode just to help you guys get through this phase in life right now, and especially to help you with this self-isolation thing. I know this can be really hard on some people. I'm definitely feeling for the extroverts out there, people who naturally tend to express themselves and think a bit better and feel really, really good and fill up their gas tank by being around lots of people. My heart goes out to you. And I just want to talk about this whole COVID-19 situation quite quickly, and then I will move into tips on how to make this self-isolation thing be a little bit easier on you, and so it'll just be funner and a nicer experience for you to get through. So COVID-19, this is a lot of kapha energy that hit the world really quick before we were really into our vata pitta mode, which is really just like go, go, go mode. We were so busy. So many people all the time were complaining about how busy they were and that they couldn't find the time to do anything they wanted to do. They couldn't catch up with their friends. They were just so busy, always on the go, always doing something. And now this is a very slowing down phase. People are having to be at home and not go out, which can actually be very, very, very healing for our nervous system right now. A lot of us have really high levels of cortisol. We have adrenal fatigue. So you can actually see the beauty in this phase right now that you're going through in life to actually help you heal your body and calm your nervous system down. And the important thing about calming your nervous system down is that we can't be panicking right now about getting this virus and becoming sick. And the news and the media love to implant you with fear, and they love to just highlight all the negativity and the bad things that are going around right now, which creates more panic and more fear and not really good vibrations in your body. So on that note, I recommend you not reading the news too much. I know a lot of us are obsessed right now about going online and watching the news and reading the news and seeing what the latest update is. And to be honest, if an update is really important, you will know about it. When we went to self-isolation, everybody got a major alert on their phone saying that we are moving to stage 4. These aren't things that are going to fly by and you're not going to know about it and you're going to be left behind or anything. You will know about everything that's going on. Everyone's talking about it right now. You do not need to read the news every hour of the day or not even every day. Just remember to be present and take this time to really focus on yourself and not panic about all the things that are going on outside of you. And on more of a spiritual level, I just want to talk about what's going on right now with this virus. It's the beginning of a new earth paradigm, and it's forcing us to upgrade our consciousness, and our spiritual DNA is also being upgraded right now with everything that's going on. And when you get such a massive forceful energy shift that happens in the universe, and that's happening to our planet right now, that can be really hard. The beginning of a change is always the hardest part. So it's important to keep that in mind right now as well. You will get through these next few months, and imagine the ecstatic feeling you will feel in your body once this virus finally settles down and is out of the picture and we don't have to self-isolate anymore. We're going to be on such a high vibe. It'll be such a beautiful time on our planet. So remember to focus on that as well. The end goal of all of this, you're going to feel so much better and so much more free. And that's a beautiful, beautiful feeling. And now, moving on to this whole self-isolation thing. Yes, you can sit there and be a victim and have pity for yourself, but you can't change the law. You can't really change what's happening. So you can have a choice to be a victim and be really mad and frustrated about what's happening, or you can move with the changes in life and use it to your advantage. The self-isolation is forcing us to spend more time with ourselves or our families or our partner. And it's giving us the time to really reflect on our lives and what is really important to us. For those of you who are self-isolating at home with your partner or your family, this is a beautiful thing. This is a time to spend the time and possibly get closer to the people who you love in your life instead of spending all that time in a job you don't necessarily like and with your coworkers. This is a chance to start doing things for ourselves in our lives. Things that we always made excuses for, like, oh, I don't have enough time, but oh, I need to always go to work and I have to drive through traffic and blah, blah, blah. Everything takes up so much time. This is actually your chance to stop making excuses and finish that book you never finished reading, or to work on your mindset and be more optimistic, or to work on your physical health, or to change your diet, or to have the time to work on your mental health, or all the excuses you had that you never could spend enough time in nature. This is your chance to do those things now. Write that blog. Create that website you've always been talking about. It's time to paint, make art, be creative. Connect with loved ones overseas and all over the world that you never usually make time for. This is your chance to do all of those things. And what are you going to do with your time? If you're someone who's always complained about not having enough time to do all these things you really want to do for yourself, what are you doing right now? What have you done so far since you've been in self-quarantine, since you've been in self-isolation? Are you looking at the things you've done and are inspired by that and are cheering yourself on? Or are you looking at what you've done so far and are questioning, maybe I should be using this time a bit more wisely. Maybe I should be using this time to do all of those things that I used to make excuses for. This is a time for no excuses. This is the time to choose if you want to be a victim or not. And this is a chance and an opportunity for you to work on yourself and do all the things that you used to say you never had time for. During this time that everything shut down might be really, really hard for some of us as well, because there are no more life distractions for you. You can't go to the bar or the club and get distracted and catch up in social gatherings and drink yourself drunk to numb yourself or get out of the present moment, or to numb that consistent pain that you always feel because you're not happy with all of the choices you're making in your life day to day. You're not making that change that you need to make. There are no distractions to go out to eat or go to that party or socialize somewhere. You're not being pulled in many different directions. Are you going to use this time to buy lots of alcohol and drink at home by yourself and get a hangover from being in self-isolation? Or buy an Xbox or a PlayStation or whatever it is to distract you even more from this opportunity that you've been given to reflect on your own life, to stop suppressing those emotions by using numbing devices or these distractions. This is a chance to take a real good look at your lifestyle and the choices you've made to get to where you are today. And think about the choices you want to make to get to where you want to be. This time is forcing you to stay away from all of those man-made things and all of those man-made distractions and really get in touch with yourself, what you really want, the relationship you have with yourself. Do you even enjoy being around yourself? Doing things that you love to do, finding your passions, and really getting in touch with nature. Now, being in the self-quarantine thing, yes, it can be difficult, especially I feel for those living on their own who don't necessarily enjoy that for 30 days by themselves. But you need to question why you're not enjoying being all by yourself either. Look, you have the internet, you can communicate with people, you can go on FaceTime, you can make Skype calls. If you're having a hard time being by yourself in this self-isolation, you need to ask yourself why. Do you not enjoy your own company? And if you're someone who can't enjoy your own company, how can someone else? It's the same theory as how can you truly and fully unconditionally love someone else if you don't fully and truly unconditionally love yourself. If you're home alone and driving yourself crazy, guess what? Most likely there are going to be some people in your lives that you drive them crazy as well. So it's a good time to look at your personality, look at your mindset, and ask yourself, am I someone who wants to be around myself? And if you're having a hard time being around yourself, maybe work on that relationship that you have with yourself. And this is such a great opportunity and such a great time to do so. Something that I find can be really helpful for a lot of people is having a routine when we're staying at home. A routine could be an example of waking up in the morning, having that glass of water or lemon water, whatever you always wanted to do in the morning, but you never made time for it because you were always rushing to work. Drink something, then maybe do that meditation you said you always never had time for because you'd wake up and the kids were screaming and you had to rush to work and drive them to school. Use this time to do that meditation. Then have breakfast. Then take out a chunk of time to move your body. Then have lunch. Then take 2 or 3 hours to do something really creative. Write something, paint, create art, and then cook and make yourself dinner, and then use the rest of the evening or the next 2 hours to do some research, educate yourself, do some studying, listen to a podcast, watch some documentaries. It's important for some of us will need this routine to get through. That'll make us feel safer. That'll make us feel, less like we're going crazy. So I highly recommend creating some sort of routine and writing that down on paper too. Don't just leave it all up in your head. Write some kind of routine down. Another thing I highly recommend doing is write a to-do list. Yes, a self-isolation to-do list. And on that to-do list are all the things you've been wanting to do around the house that you've never gotten the time to do, or all those things you wanted to do on your phone or on your laptop or whatever that you never had time to do. So for me, an example is I've been wanting to print some photos and frame them for a long, long time now. And I bought all the photo frames and I have them all stacked up in the closet, but I've never actually made the time to go through my phone, choose all the photos that I want to print and make an album and then go print them. I can make that album right now. Another thing is my Spotify. It is a big mess. I want to separate it into different playlists. I never had time to do that. Now I have the time to do that. So if you listen to one of my older episodes on the 4 quadrants to living a successful life, I believe that was episode 44. If you listen to that, if you remember square number 2, all the things you want to do that are important, that are not urgent. Quadrant 2 is the one you want to be focused on to gain the most success and happiness from life. And this is the perfect time to dive into quadrant 2 and do all those things that aren't urgent, that isn't that urgent phone call, that isn't those people telling you what to do and you need to run errands for them, but things that are really important that'll actually help you out in the long run. This is the time to do them now. I hope you guys get through this next phase of however long each of you listening are having to stay at home. I wish you all the best. My recommendations: create a routine, write a to-do list, go through that list so you feel productive, you feel like you're actually doing something, you're actually using this time wisely. Dance, have dance parties with yourself, have dance parties with your families or your partner or your flatmates, roommates, whoever you may be living with. Use this time wisely. Remember to try your best to stay optimistic and be in a high vibe. Play music you love, play happy music, play music you can sing to. There's so many things you can do right now with your time, and I hope you use them wisely. I love you guys. I'll see you on the next episode. Bye.